That is just so simple and makes so much sense when you stood over this training aid. Let's take a look exactly at what it is. So guys, welcome back to a brand new lesson and also a new tech review training aid section. This week we are going to be focusing on what makes putting so simple, and it is this little beauty, the My Putting template from Visio Golf and Putting Solutions, designed by Phil Kenyon. If you don't know who Phil Kenyon is now, I'll flash up a few images of him here. Actually stood with some of the best golfers in the world. If you're a keen avid golfer watching a lot of golf, you probably will have seen him stood very much like this behind a few of the best players in the world, watching them putting. He is the man to go to if you are looking for putting advice. So the My Putting template, what is it? Well, basically it's something that is designed to help us control the club face, i.e. the putter face, while we're making our stroke, and also designed to show us and guide us where the putter should swing. Now I know what you're thinking, putting stroke, is it that important? If you started holding a few more putts and actually got control of your stroke and knew that you were getting a pretty consistent stroke on it, I would imagine that you start to hold more putts and your scores start to lower. Because who's had that stroke when they're taking the putter back, they start watching it because all of a sudden you think you're drawing a figure of 8 as you start to come in and strike your putt, so you forget about hitting it, and then all of a sudden you're more worried about what your backstroke looked like than actually trying to hold the putt as you go through it. We've probably all been there and had that sort of stroke that I'm talking about, where we feel like we're almost drawing a squiggly line on the way back when we're actually getting into it, and we actually lose focus of the putt and do it. So with this stroke, with this putting aid, it comes in 4 different templates that's relevant to the curve of the arc that you would see here, and then each line here is to show where the face should be along the putter stroke. Because what I see from a lot of people is they're trying to keep the face too square to their intended target line or the hole, so all of a sudden the club starts to go off in different directions, trying to actually compensate for what they've done by actually the concept of where they're trying to aim the club face. So it's a brilliant little training aid. So let's have a look at it a little bit more in detail and tell you what exactly you can do with it, and hit some putts and show you what it'll look like from my view as I'm putting. My view, that worked well. So the putting aid itself is really simple. Like I say, it's designed to actually get you stroking it the way you want to, get the club working on a good arc, and get the face travelling square to that arc. Setting it up is really simple, as you'll see from the other angles here now. We've got the face lines that are here, these black lines that are segmented that run all up and down it. We've got the curved line that's going to show you the arc, and they come in different angles that are 12 degrees, 15 degrees, 18 and 21. So depending on how much you take the club inside and then move it back inside, and your putting stroke would determine what you need. And I'd suggest getting a fitting to try and get your straight one, or if you know that you'd like to try and keep it pretty straight, you'd probably be the lesser arc. If you're more of an arcuate stroke, you're going to be the higher one. Then we've got this line here that you'll see now, which is the grey line, which is a line straight down to our target that you might see from the other video there, or the hole, or if it was a right to left and you're aiming right edge, that's where you would go. It comes with inches on here as well, so you can start to gauge your stroke length. And then as well here, it's got some handy little holes that you can make gates, so once you're starting to putt and you're getting a good control of the face, you should be able to knock a ball through the gate and see that you wouldn't hit it. So it's a fantastic tool for me when I've been using it in my lessons. A lot of people have the concept of trying to keep the putter straight back. Here, if I just move this ball, we go straight back and straight through, and what you'd see, it starts to develop a little bit of an out to in stroke here, so that's working across the lines here. The more and more you try and bed that in, even though it's a putt and we're trying to hit it straight along our line, because the shaft has an angle in it, it's going to work on an arc. So as you can see here as a setup now, let me just move that back onto my dot. What we'd want to try and do is keep my face square towards these little lines here. So we want to see that the face would be square, and as you notice there, that white line that I've got isn't working on the arced line, it starts to move off. So for me, I'd have to have some training, even just having practice strokes where I feel I'm starting to try and work it on, so I get a stroke with the face square that is working along the arc here. So it's back and 2, and seeing that my face stays square to it and starts to actually deliver a stroke that will be more consistent and get my ball started on the ball to target line. A bit like that one. Stay up. Ooh, would have just lipped in. So as we go through it again, it's a really handy, I think the visual element of this training aid is fantastic because it literally shows you exactly where you should be on it. If you don't follow the lines here and it's moving all over the shop, it's just so apparent when your face isn't square to the lines. It stands out so much. So when I've used it with beginners and even better players, you know, you'll see a lot of tour players using this template. It just makes it so apparent of where the face needs to be, and obviously if you've got it lined up correctly like we do with the laser here, it shows you exactly what needs to happen, where the club needs to be, and you'll start holding more and more putts with it. So it is a really, really fantastic little training aid to get your putting stroke in. Even just 5 minutes a day on here would start to get the face squarer, get your club working on that good path, and see, you know, that you deliver a better strike. Once you're doing it as well and you're setting it up, you can obviously think about pace. Once you've concentrated a little bit more on your stroke, then when you actually take it away, you're bringing back in your pace. But here, just as a shape and an idea of where the putter should be travelling, it's fantastic. Okay, so this thing is fantastic. It's super durable as well. It comes in a little travel case, as it were. You just literally roll it up. Never loses its shape when it comes back out. It's easy to just lay down flat on the mat again, just sinks onto the turf. Looks great. It's got fantastic little T-holes in there just to put it into the ground, so if you are on a putting green with grass, you can just pin it into place. These are the holes I was talking about for the gate as well, so you've sort of got easy, medium and hard as you're going through it. So once you get more au fait and your stroke's getting better, you've got your face more square to the arc and that travelling along the line you want it to, you can start to actually bring the gates in and start to train yourself. So not only as a visual aid for you getting better, it's got almost like a test element to it to monitor your progress. If you're starting at hard, starting at easy, you want to be working back down towards the hard and see that you're constantly getting it through there. Because if you are following the arc that you get there, that you see that is a little bit like the upside down smiley, all of a sudden you're going to notice that once the face is square and the putter's travelling on line, you get the ball rolling along your intended target line. How many times do we see it jump off and we don't go in, you know, hit a good putt there, but actually you've not got your face where you want it to do. The 3 skills of putting a pace, your line, and then starting it off on line. So, you know, being able to control your pace, we've got drills for that, but then actually getting some practice on this is going to get you starting the ball on your intended target line, which is massive. And like I say, just the visual element of it makes putting so simple. It makes it easy to understand where the face should be at a certain time, and then all of a sudden that little smiley line here that you see, the upside down smiley, just shows where the putter should be tracking. It's almost like that swing plane for swing trainer, I can't remember the name of it, for when we had the full swing, the big metal hoop. It just gives you a visual and a feedback of where the club needs to be going. So a fantastic kit, and it was just something I wanted to showcase here that we use at the academy on a regular basis. When I'm doing putting lessons, it's one of my staples, this, that I'd always give everyone a go of, and so, you know, that's what we need to be looking at. So the My Putting template, fantastic little training aid. If you get a chance, take a look at them. There's stuff in the link down below to check them out. They really are one of the best putting training aids I've seen in a long time, and if the world's best are trusting this little piece of kit, I think we can all do that as well. So give it a go. Leave a comment down below as well. What do you think of this? Have you tried one? Do you like this style of video as well? Remember, if this is one of your first lessons as well, do remember to hit the subscribe button, turn on the bell notification so you don't miss any future lessons or any future training aid reviews as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.